Out here walking a pup. Actually, she's not a pup. She's 2 years old now. Still full of energy, but not like that crazy puppy energy. Anyways, it's a beautiful Sunday before work. Turning back to work tomorrow. I think we're all kind of familiar with those Sunday jitters that you get before you return back to work. It's not that I have those exactly at the moment, but they do linger. So I really just kind of wanted to get out here and just enjoy a little bit of the outdoors and just talk a little bit before starting the week. But yeah, so how you guys doing? It has been a busy few weeks. It's been a busy few weeks, and I can't say that it's gonna change anytime soon. To be frank, it emphasizes the importance of just kind of taking some time for yourself to disconnect, to get out and get some time outside. Just declutter your mind. Especially as a man, there's just so many things you have to think about, and things that are just always on your mind. Life has just been a bit chaotic lately. I feel like work to a degree has consumed quite a bit of my life, and I try to be careful about that. I try to be careful about working too much and not having personal time away from work. And I'm very careful about that. Sometimes I am, and then there are those periods where I find myself and I get away from my desk. I work majorly from home, and it's just busy, and it's difficult sometimes when you find that work you can't even escape from it when you're at home. I tried this year to to actually lower down on that and just to improve my my own health and work-life balance and everything. And right after doing so, I get a conversation about my output, and I won't go into details about that, but it disappointed me quite a bit, just how now, at least here in the States, it just seems like the order is, you have to dedicate so much of your life, you have to dedicate your soul to companies oftentimes, and you have to be loyal to them, and they don't seem to be very loyal to the people that work for them. And we know this because, if you've really been paying attention to the news, there have been layoffs left and right across many different sectors, especially in IT, and feels, un-IT related, that, nothing new. I think we're all aware of artificial intelligence and the impact that that's having. People say, of course, it's going to create more jobs, and, that is the case. She's just like on her back flipping out. I wish I could show without the camera going crazy. I'm not going to do that because I'm probably going to mess up the camera. But anyway, we know about that. They say that artificial intelligence, how did you manage to get your leash under your butt, is going to create more jobs. And I get that, it will, but the amount of jobs that it's going to remove, the amount of people that are going to be replaced, is going to trump that number quite a bit. In general, I think a lot of people are going to be feeling a lot of pressure as time goes on, feeling like they're going to be replaced. Again, we dedicate our lives to work. We work the majority of our lives, and if you're going to work to retirement here in the States, you're going to be working for quite a while. I'm 33 years old, so I don't think I'm halfway, but I got a long way to go. My father just retired a couple months ago, and I could not be more happy for him. I had a conversation with him a few weeks ago and asked how he was doing. He was like, "Warren, if I could be doing any better, I don't know what I'd be doing with my time." And it's just, I've been so happy for him, because my father worked, he worked his job and then he worked his home business. So that man worked quite a bit. He came from humble beginnings. My family came from humble beginnings. Before I was born, he's built his family. He's built his life to where he wanted it to be. Now he gets to enjoy the fruits of his labor, even though he labored for long, but, he's proud of what he's, accomplished. He's proud of what he's created. Family, the home, the land, and it's so peaceful out there. When I go back to visit them in Alabama, it's so peaceful. That's the dream, I guess. But that dream is going to be very difficult for a lot of people to achieve. The cost of living now is ridiculous. You go back 2-3 years ago, you were getting almost twice as what you're getting now in the grocery stores. You go to the grocery store now, and you come out with 2-3 bags, and you're already over $100 or damn near close to it. It's difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people, and everyone's feeling the stress and pressure from that. And then you wonder, is that going to change anytime soon? I don't want to be grim, but it hasn't changed yet. And there's just so much going on now that leaves, it leaves you to have little faith that things are going to change, that things are going to change for the better. The price of homes, it's, over the last few years, that has not really decreased. At least I have not seen. It's unfortunate, but a lot of people are just getting priced out. A lot of people are getting priced out of living. Just a little side note, I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis last year, and it made things difficult because my right wrist, I had swelling in my right wrist and my left index finger and my right ring finger. But my right hand, I was struggling at points to grab stuff off the shelves in grocery stores. But I got over that, or not got over. I'm still dealing with it. It'll be something I'll deal with for the rest of my life. It's in my family. It's in my DNA, my genetics. It bothered me a little bit, but there's so many other things that you could be worried about, so many other issues that I can have. So I'm thankful that things aren't worse than what they are. But the medication for RA is expensive as heck. $5,000 minimal for, what was it, Humira that I was taking. It will be $5,000 out of pocket. If I didn't have insurance and some sort of help, it would be $5,000, which is ridiculous. Now you think about people who, who may not have jobs or don't have insurance that can't even cover even a small portion of that. You cannot do that. It's ridiculous. And so I'm thankful that I am getting assistance with it, and insurance and all that sort of stuff helps cover it. And like the discount cars and all these programs. But a lot of people are unfortunate that some medications aren't being covered, that they can't get help. And you think about that, who's going to be able to pay? I mean, there are people that can do it, but the average person cannot pay $5,000 a month for a medication to be able to reduce inflammation or issues that they have, just so that way they can live a semi-normal life. It's pretty sad. And again, I don't feel that the wages are, increasing to compensate for, inflation, the increased cost of living. And again, a lot of jobs are just going to be replaced. So it's a very, it's a very grim sort of outlook. If you look at it and you don't guard your mind from just the negative aspect of it, you can get a very grim outlook on living. But again, things have just been stressful. And I'm not talking about just myself. I'm talking about for people in general. I feel like since COVID, and you'll hear me saying this a lot, but I feel like since COVID, a lot has changed. A lot has gotten difficult. And I feel like mental health is, like, people are struggling with mental health issues now, perhaps more than ever. People have been struggling with that over the years just because of the cost of living, the pressures of work, having to pull off. That's another thing. A lot of people, I know people in the healthcare side, and they say that they're being overworked. Burnout is extremely high, and that a lot of healthcare organizations have reduced their staff, and those that remain are doing twice the workload, and they're more prone to making mistakes. And what's going to happen when they make a mistake? At least from my understanding, a lot of places, they have to get their own insurance to cover for stuff like that. And hospitals, these organizations will put the blame off on them to cover their own ass. So it's crazy that it just seems like, again, here, just at least here in the States, it seems crazy that so much seems like it's set up to make life difficult for people to live. And it's very, very difficult. So you can understand, like, with all these sorts of difficulties and factors, how people struggle with mental health. You can understand the pressure that everyone's just feeling right now in life, and the uncertainty people are having with work and their families, being able to take care of themselves, their families. And it's crazy. It's just important that we all be able to cope with these sorts of things. I've done another video about coping mechanisms. Is that a coyote or a fox? Can't switch the camera around because it's going to try to track me, but there's something running across there. If she sees this, she's going to flip out. I hope she doesn't see this. All right, let's turn around, because I don't want her to start going crazy. But yeah, coyote. We should probably start backtracking towards the entrance anyway. It's getting a little dark, but anyway, it's important to have mechanisms to cope with life and these difficulties and pressures. I say this more than ever, guys. Like, have a plan. Like, have a backup plan. We all need that right now. We all need a backup plan, a way to pivot, because so much of the future, again, is just so uncertain. And the last thing any of us want to do is get caught off guard. You can't get caught off guard right now. And I think that's the unfortunate reality that a lot of people are gonna, be dealing with at some point. They're gonna be caught off guard by all this change, how technology is evolving, artificial intelligence, the job replacements, and other factors that are contributing to that as well. All the things that are going on in the economy, and just so much happening right now. I don't want to get into all the politics of things, but it's living here is difficult. And I don't know if it's the same way across other regions of the world, but at least in the States, the place that people were supposed to come, and the land of freedom of speech, and the American dream and all that sort of stuff, it just seems like even within our own soil, we as the people here are creating an atmosphere that's just difficult to live in, if that makes sense. That's all I want to talk about, guys. Just a general quick chat here. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life is going well. I don't know what day you're watching this or what day I'm uploading it. Again, it's a Sunday before another busy work week starts. So I hope that your life is going good, that you're taking care of your family and keeping things together. Your health and your well-being are all great. And if they're not, there's a lot of people that are struggling. So you're not alone in that. Definitely don't feel alone in that. People are struggling. And, I'm not to say that I'm struggling, but you never know. Just one thing can change in your life, and then it's just turned upside down. So that's the part that I think all of us are at risk of. Anyway, gonna finish taking her for a little walk here. Hey, Heart, come here. Maybe I can get her to... Come here, Heart. Hey, come here. Maybe I can get her to... there we go. Look. Was that a coyote? Something over there. All right, let's get out of here before we get eaten up. All right, you guys take care.